SwissBorg is the official partner of my channel where you can buy, sell, hold, and more importantly stake your cryptocurrencies. You can even earn yield on your stablecoins. Sign up with my link and you'll earn up to $100 worth of their native token CHSB just for depositing €50 worth of crypto. SwissBorg. Hello everybody, welcome back. Just to let you know, I've got a 2-year-old in the background playing on her tablet, and that's how I'm talking. This is how Daddy works. And and that's how I parent these days. So excuse that little tinkly sound in the background. Let's get on with it. So first of all, I've got to start with the Dixie. So we've basically met the overall destination now. So people called me crazy, man. People thought I was mad when I told them that the Dixie would retreat from this area over here. I said there's a very strong possibility. Made a song and a dance about it. Everyone's saying, "What are you talking about? It's getting ready to blow. It's going to 120, man. Can you not see that?" All right, no, I can't see that, actually. Thank you very much. All the way down to the 50 exponential on the weekly. Done that. It's done. Now, we can experience some wicks down even lower than that to the 50 simple. I'm not going to say that that's definitely on the cards. Like I say, I've already met the main criteria for what I expected the Dixie to do. And so now, really, it is basically a matter of waiting for it to bounce and see where the bounce takes us for the Dixie. And as we all are painfully aware, moves up on the Dixie can translate to moves down for everything that we love. And so that's kind of what I'm expecting once we start to see this bounce take place. Now, the bounce isn't happening right now. I mean, so far we're still down on the day. This is just a weekly, looking for this weekly candle body to close here, maybe even a little lower. That's fine. Which means that for something like Bitcoin, we can still experience some more upside. Because basically, as far as Bitcoin's chart is concerned, it's doing quite nicely on its own. We recognize the 4-hourly trend signal from the Itchy Cloud that was generated a few days ago. That is still in play. That won't be cancelled out unless we close candle bodies between today and tomorrow below 16,200. And by next week, we'd need to be higher than more or less where we are right now, just to avoid this cheeky span touching the price action, or this blue crossing this red, which would only really happen in this instance in like in a dump, for instance, you know, like a decent dump, $1,000–1,500 dump. So there's nothing really that I can see to suggest that sort of dump is happening. What we're seeing here on the 4-hour is just natural consolidation. Seems as though we're kind of easing our way out of that consolidation, looking to move up a little bit. Again, this is only a 4-hourly chart, but we're basically coming out of this bit of a cooling off period over the last day or so, and maybe looking up to move up to the 200 exponential, which is that 17,400. We could even move higher than that, up to 18,000. Like I say, it's same as I've been saying all week. But those would be the main targets. I really don't see the possibility for this to be able to move up beyond 18,000. Not at this stage right now, but I think a move up to 17,500 is quite likely. So it's only a $500 move. But look, you get what you're given in trading, and that looks relatively likely to happen. I would probably say maybe even today. Friday though, so Fridays can often be basically the day of reversal. But that can easily come, after a little pump up to here, maybe even a pump up to here, causing the FOMO, and then basically the shorts will stack, because everything else in the world suggests that we're going to have a pullback on the Dixie, pullback on S&P, a bounce on the Dixie, obviously. So this is your S&P, hit our descending triangle trend line perfectly, so you'd expect to see a pullback from here. Nasdaq basically overreached it, but it did that last time, it might just be doing that again today. Again, we're looking at this on the daily. No buy signals, no pump signals, no trend signals, and if anything, what we should be thinking about is trading extremely carefully. I'm not willing to go short on any of these things, despite the telltale signs that shorts would probably be the larger move to play. I'm also not suggesting that we move from the Dixie. I move all the way up to the top of this trend line. I'm not suggesting that at all. If anything, I'd be thinking that we move up to any one of these moving averages on the weekly, so 107, 108, 109, and get rejected from there, and basically hang around in the bottom of the Bollinger Band for a little while. But again, the Dixie is pretty bullish chart. So what we're seeing here basically is maybe just a retest of a golden cross. So there is all of that. But again, this is a weekly, okay? So weeklies can take weeks to play out their full destination. And when I said that the Dixie had peaked around here, I said between 2 to 6 weeks we should have felt the overall pain. for the Dixie, and the Everything Bounce 2.0 would be over. And what have we had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is week 7. So pretty good stuff, actually. Pretty good stuff, and it's done very well. It's done exactly as I expected. So if you appreciate that call, or just the channel in general, just give us a like, because apparently if you like it this stage of the video, or this way through, that the algorithm appreciates that more than if you just like it just because you like it in general. So just like it now, or even better, wait to the end of the video and like it. Apparently YouTube absolutely loves that kind of interaction. I don't know about these algorithms, but that's what I'm told, and it makes sense to me. So long story short, it's the same as we've been saying for a little while. Everything Bounce 2.0, most likely over for the moment, at least anyway, but it doesn't mean that we go to make new lows on any of these charts. Maybe get some new lows on Bitcoin potentially, but for traditional markets, I still think that there is a good chance. I'm in favour of the bottom already being in for traditional markets, so not actually getting a rejection here all the way down to a brand new low. I actually am going as far as saying that I think that the bottom is in for, you know, S&P, Nasdaq, and all that lot. But because crypto is so extremely weak, and the bottom is actually not that far away from where we are at right now, I think it's unreasonable to expect that Bitcoin has found a bottom. But traditional markets, I actually think they have. So again, that's old news. You've heard me say that before, but I'm warming up to the idea that that is actually the case. And if that is the case, then traditional markets are going to go into a period of accumulation, and that can take ages for traditional markets. They can accumulate for a very long period of time. Let's have a look at the last sort of major bear market, I suppose, where there was a consolidation of such size. I mean, it's difficult to find one, really. This is 2008, doesn't really count. I suppose the best way to look at it would be 2000, really. So what have we got here from 2002 to 2003? So we've basically got, you know, best part of a year's worth of sideways. Really, it's choppy as hell, but that could be what we'd be looking for now. So we could consider a choppy range for the best part of 6 to 12 months, really, for accumulation on traditional markets. And you know, as far as the 4-year cycle is concerned, you know, we know and love that, but we're also aware that, you know, last time we ended the bear market for crypto, is December 2018. It's where we really did fall off a cliff. So it is still worth hanging around on the sidelines and waiting just to see if that happens, especially when the Dixie looks like it's not that it looks like it wants to bounce. It doesn't actually look like it wants to bounce, in all fairness. But we've met the criteria that we set ourselves 7 weeks ago. It's already been filled now, so that has been the move. Well, you know, we've done our business. We had a good time. Now it's time to wait and see how deep the rejection goes for traditional markets, how big the bounce goes for Dixie, and if we get rejection at the center of that Bollinger Band or lower for Dixie, then I'm more confident than I am now that the bottom's in for traditional markets. And then Bitcoin can do its own thing, which is what we want it to do. We don't want it to be particularly correlated to anything. We want it to do its own thing. And if it chooses to fall off a cliff going into the mid to low teens, that's fine. That would more or less mark the final capitulation, and that would be the place where I decide to pick up basically everything that I've had my sights on for the long term, and I will bite the bullet that time round. This time round I wasn't particularly convinced, because it was in the midst of an everything bounce, and I always felt like, you know, when the everything bounce finishes, which is more or less now, then downside is going to be more likely in the short term. So considering Bitcoin was falling while everything else was going up thanks to the FTX, it made me feel as though probably more lows are likely for Bitcoin, but for traditional markets, a different story. So let's watch over the next couple of weeks to see the reaction on the Dixie. Probably I'm expecting a move up to around these levels and then a rejection from there, which means that we get a rejection more or less where we are right now on traditional markets and get picked up on a higher low basis. And that would be good, because if that also marks the same time of a capitulation for Bitcoin, or a brand new low, a significant low, especially if it reaches these areas that we've marked off like 14, 12, or maybe even 8, that would be it. I'd say that would definitely be worthy of picking up for the long haul. Anyway, Friday's a bit of a lame day for trading, but you know, it's usually a time to get out of positions if you've been in them all week. So let's just sit back, watch, and wait to see what the Dixie provides us. Like I say, wicks further down is quite likely. You know, bottom of the Bollinger Band, 50 simple moving average hangs around here about 103.6. So that is definitely on the cards. But much deeper from there at this stage now, I'll be very, very surprised. I'll be very surprised if it does happen. It could happen. We see golden crosses get retested all the way down to the 200 exponential all the time, and that'll bring us down to 98. But I'm telling you, if that were to happen, especially in this kind of speed, you know, we would get a significant bounce on the Dixie, and we would get a pretty hard slap in the face for all other assets. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. There's a live stream tonight if you fancy joining that. You'd have to be a Patreon member, but it's £7.50 a month. It's no big deal. Otherwise, I hope you have a nice day and a good weekend, and enjoy putting up your Christmas tree, which is what I'll be doing tomorrow. Take it easy, guys.